14 and a half years of tears I just unleashed. Let me explain. I always start off with my testimony because we overcome the devil by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. It's powerful, your testimony of who you were and where God's brought you and who you are today. 2007, December 19th, right before Christmas, my children were taken away from me in Madera, California, rightfully so. I was a horrible abuser, mentally, emotionally, just like my dad. They were taken from me suddenly. I didn't see them for 2 years. And then over the next 10 and a half years, I saw them less than 10 times. They'd like to kill me. But instead of going back to drug addiction and alcoholism and womanizing and addiction of every form, God began to transform me. I was extradited. I was thrown into jail that day in Madera, California. 16 days, me, God, in a Bible. You see, I was born again in a prison March 19th, 1990 on a 20-year sentence when I wasn't even supposed to go to prison. But oh God, He knows what He's doing. All things work together for good. Doesn't say all things are good, it says all things work together for good. For those who love God and are called according to His purpose. The good, the bad, the ugly. Prison for me, multiple jails, my children taken away. 12 and a half years. Only God could have got me through. I've got scars on my body from suicide attempts. Heart attack, stroke, was blind from a drug overdose. On and on and on and on it goes. Abuse at the age of 5. Emotional, physical. And then at 8, 9, 10, sexually abused by 2 babysitters, women. Always wondered for all these years, why did I hate women? Why did I turn out just like my dad? Why was I an abuser and an alcoholic and then drugs and on, a sex addict? It was all part of God's plan to get me to where I'm at today. So I was just bawling here because my prayer when I got extradited from Madera, California back to Dallas, and I turned back to Jesus. I'd spent 16 days in a jail before they extradited me back. And when I got home to Dallas, I prayed God for restoration. If God would have told me it would have been 12 and a half years, I don't know. God, I don't know. I don't think I'd have made it. I don't think I'd have made it 12 and a half years. But I continue to seek God, seek God, seek God. And 2 years, a month and a half ago, our children's mother called me. And she said, Clark, would you consider moving to Georgia? Our children could use your support. And I just bought a home and land, and I didn't really have to pray. But God just sure said, son, it's time. 12 and a half years. So I came here. But over those 12 and a half years, I prayed, God, all I want, Lord, is to be able to preach one day and have my daughter singing. And today, 14 and a half years later, my daughter was up here singing, and suddenly Thursday or Friday, pastor called me and said, Adam Mark had to cancel. Would you preach? I said, of course. And then Kelsey comes up. She was over Friday night. She stopped by my place. We walked down, and we were sitting on a swing. And she said, Dad, have you ever heard this song? And it's a song she just sang. She's never sang it before. And we rocked, and we rocked, and we rocked, and we sang together. You see, God knows what He's doing. God knows what He's doing.